So, what is responsibility? Well, if you look at the word closely, you realize there's actually two words here, response and ability. And if we put that into a phrase that makes a little bit more sense, it's really the ability to respond. So, responsibility is the ability to respond. Let's look at the implications of this. First, it is the ability to respond. Sometimes we think, well, there's some individuals who are responsible and there's others who are not. And no, that's not correct. There's a singular ability. It is the ability to respond, and every human being has it. And it's also an ability. We confuse many times the tool with the ability. So, for example, people say, well, responsibility is all about the decisions you make. But that's not correct. The mind makes decisions, but that's the tool you use. The ability is in the soul. So don't confuse the ability with the tools. And finally, it's the ability to respond. Now, every human being, including men and women, have this ability. Men embody it a little bit more naturally. However, most fallen men view this as the ability to be responded to. So, as an example, his woman would be upset, and then he'll go and buy a gift, and he'll give her the gift. He'll respond to her desire for a gift, right? But as soon as he gives her the gift, what does he do? He steps back and he waits for her to respond. But that's incorrect. The man is supposed to be a continual expression of the Creator, continually responding to creation, the woman's desires. As soon as he steps back and waits for her to respond, he's stepping out of character. He needs to stay in character. Now, men run into this because what happens is the woman opens the gift. She's very happy, very excited. She's continuing to express desire. And as soon as she opens the gift, she looks up at him, waiting for his next response. And this hurts the man. He's expecting her to respond to him. But she just wants to be a continual expression of desire. In fact, she's hoping that while she's opening the gift, she's continually expressing desire. He's going to explore that desire and then have a response ready as soon as she finishes the gift she's opening. So that would allow both to stay in character. She's just continually expressing desire for more. He's just continually responding with more. And that's the show that all marriage relationships want to put on. So the man's ability to respond models the creator's role with creation. He's continually responding to the woman's desire. And that's the picture that we look at and see, that is how the creator responds to creation. Now let's open this up a little bit further. How does responsibility work? Well, the first thing we see is that a man innately recognizes desire. As an example, when an attractive woman walks in the room, every man turns and looks. Why is he doing this? He's looking to the woman who's supposed to be able to express desire. Now you also notice that men then look away. Why? Because the fallen woman isn't actually expressing desire. Now she's got the hair, she's got the clothes, she's got the makeup, she's got the bodily form that are all ready to express desire, but there's actually no desire being expressed there. And without a desire being expressed, the man has nothing to respond to. So he turns away from her and then goes back to whatever he's doing. But this ability to respond gives a man what we usually refer to as instincts. He has an instinctive recognition when desire is being expressed. He recognizes it. And then what does he do? He wants to explore that desire. And here it's vividly portrayed with a woman because he wants to explore her. And normally this is focused on her body. He just wants to disrobe her and explore her body. But this is a picture of what's supposed to be happening in the soul. The man's supposed to be exploring the desire, but the desire isn't in her body. It's not in her clothes. It's not in her emotions or even her thoughts. The desire is inside her soul. And the woman wants the man to come in and explore as a show, to put on this vivid show of what's really going on in the soul itself with the Creator. So after he recognizes desire, responds to it, he starts exploring the desire. His intent is to fulfill. He wants to bring fulfillment into the woman. Now, of course, a fallen man, can't actually fulfill desire. So why the game? Why the thoughts, emotions, and actions with all this exploration and recognition and attempt to fulfill? it's not actually fulfillment. It's putting on a glorious show, a show of what the Creator does to every soul, because only the Creator can fulfill desire. So the man and the woman want to put this show on of how the Creator recognizes, explores, and fulfills creation's desires. So a man's responsibility, his ability to respond, is modeling how to recognize, explore, and fulfill creation. Now, why is responsibility leading? It would seem that if the woman expresses desire and then the man responds to that desire, it looks like she's leading, right? But remember, the Creator doesn't need creation. So the man's responsibility is modeling that lack of need for creation. So he's walking around, and if you've noticed, there's billions of women around all trying to express desire, but the man only recognizes one. And what does he do? He responds with selection, and that's leadership. He pushes all the other women aside and he selects this one woman. That's how the Creator works with each of us. He selects us specifically. He responds to our empty spiritual desires, pushes all other creation aside, and selects us. And this is the show the man's putting on with a woman. He's walking through his life. He doesn't need a woman, but he recognizes a woman expressing desire and he selects her. And then what does he do? He responds further with union. He takes her away from the world and then fills her with his nature. The intention there is so that they would produce thoughts, emotions, and actions that share both natures. It's a union of the two. He selected her and he wants to unite with her so that he can bring forth creations together. And a child is the ultimate visible expression of that. Now, this is where things get fuzzy for us in the fallen world. Once a man selects and then unites with a woman, then what? Well, the original intention was the man would then respond with exaltation. A man is created with strength. Why? So he can lift up the woman. That's the picture of how the Creator lifts up creation. And you say, but I can't really see that picture. That's because the Creator is invisible. And that's the ultimate picture of exaltation. You can't even see the Creator. Why? Because he's so confident as his nature as the foundation. He's leading by being invisible, and he's giving all the glory to visible creation. So a man models this by becoming less and less visible, but more and more impactful. He is this structure, this foundation that the woman and the children and the world around him build upon, and he leads the world by his responses, but you can't see him. You may be able to see his body, but you won't be able to unpack the true depth of his spiritual power. But again, this is just the model. He's showing the world how the Creator responds invisibly to visible creation. And that is a very intriguing expression of the Creator's leadership. So a man's ability to respond models the Creator's leadership, and he does this how? By being invisible and giving all the exalted glory to visible creation. So who wants responsibility? Now, the first place we see this is with creation. Creation is very interested in a man who is skilled in the ability to respond. Why? Because creation wants to put on a glorious show, and the man is the missing element. All of creation's expressing desire. But a man who's skilled in the ability to desire and living with the Creator is very, very rare. So creation's very interested in such a man. A woman is also very interested in a man who's skilled in the ability to respond. Why? She also is a spiritual being. She has the ability to respond. So she's looking for a man who can help her learn, who can teach her about this ability to respond, and in turn, she will teach him about her natural ability to desire. But ultimately, it's the Creator. The Creator made this grand stage, and He wants a man and a woman who are both skilled in putting on this glorious show about how He responds to creation's desires. And the more unique the show is, the more glorious the show, the more delighted He becomes. So each soul possesses this ability to respond like the creator, and the man in particular is the teacher of that ability.